Hey guys, my name is Morgan and welcome to today's video. We have got all of the materials that we need to build a greenhouse. So, well, it's not technically a greenhouse, it's just going to be like a protection because we have shade cloth instead of plastic sheeting. So it's going to be more of protection from the sun and from some of the heat. It's going to be more of that than creating heat, because here in South Africa, zone 11A to 12B, it gets really hot in the summer, and in the previous videos I'm sure you can tell as well, it is extremely hot, and I've mentioned it a couple of times as well. So this is definitely going to be a great help, and we're going to put it up today when it's nice and cool. Overcast, it's not hot at all, no humidity, so we're going to get this up and we're going to have a bit of a shade cloth greenhouse. The goal for today is to get both of these raised beds with our shade cloth covering going over. So we've got our conduits that we're going to put on each side, and they're going to go over across, and we're going to have our shade cloth that's going to go over that. So the main thing is we're wanting these two beds to be under the shade cloth. So what I've decided is when I put that conduit in there in the corner, it'll actually be quite alright if we just cable tie them onto our droppers, because the droppers are very secure and they will be perfectly fine to withstand the load of our conduits being bent over and stuff like that. But because this bed is just a little bit smaller, we've got our rebar that we're going to peg into the ground, and these are 1.4 meters. So I'm going to be hammering in 700 mils into the ground, and then there's going to be 700 mils sticking up top, and then our conduits will be able to slide over there, and that'll be perfectly fine to withstand the load of whatever is going to be bending, and our shade cloth that's going to be on top there. So the next step now is to measure out the distance and get one of our rebars in the ground. So there we have it, there's our rebar. Now it's time to get it in the ground. I'm just using one of the other conduits just to measure out, and what I'm thinking is I wonder if I shouldn't have this conduit coming in over here, but I think it'll be better over there because our cable ties I think will hold it. No, I think it'll be better here. Put it going down on this side, and then when we have our cable ties holding on here, more of the tension will be on the cable ties, and it'll just hold it a bit more and it'll be a little bit more sturdy. So with it being there, I can put this the outside and then make it nice and straight, and then I know I can just follow a line, and then that's where my rebar is going to go. So I'm going to measure this out, make sure it's all accurate, and then we're going to get our rebar in. And I'm actually going to be using like a little sledgehammer, because if I had to use a mallet, the mallet is a little bit too soft and I'll be damaging it, so I'm going to use a metal little mini sledgehammer. So with a lot of trial and error, we're still in the error section. What we tried to do was just cable tie them across like that, so we didn't have to cut them. But if I step back here, you can see it's a little bit lopsided. They're not 100% equal, and they're a little bit too short as well. Although I can fit under them, it's like really close. So what we're going to try and do now is, we know that we need 5 meters going over across, and each conduit is 3 meters long, so total that's 6. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut 500 mils off the one and 500 mils off the other. So we're going to take a meter off of the 6 meters, so half a meter off of each conduit. So we're going to have 2.5 and 2.5, which is going to give us our 5 meters. So I'm going to cut half meter off of each conduit, and then we're going to use our connections, and we're going to try a different way and see how that works. It is the next day and I'm finally able to show you guys the shade cloth greenhouse. So after after chatting with my dad for a little bit, we came up with this design, and I'm actually really glad that we did, because as you can see, I am actually quite a substantial amount taller than the little shade cloth greenhouse that we've made here. And if we had made it taller, if we'd made it big enough for me to be able to walk without ducking, it would have looked a little bit unproportional, and I'm actually really glad that we have come up with this design. Because we were actually thinking as well, I'm going to be bending down, working on the plants and working on the beds for most of the time anyway, so there's not really a very big need for me to stand up straight. So that's why we have decided to go with this. It looks very small and modern and compact, and it is not obstructing any views, and I'm really happy with this design that we have come up with. And that is also going to be the end of this video. I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I really hope you enjoy.